Hello YouTube, Al here, it's New Gear Day, let's get on with it. So this is a Marshall MG series 100 HDFX. It's one of the old ones, so it's not got MG written in massive letters and a big round circular button. This is the old type, and the old type just has a mixture of knobs really. So let's go through the spec. So we have two channels, to clean or crunch depending on the mode. So this is two channels, each has two modes. So we've got the clean, which also has a crunch mode in it, and then we've got the overdrive channel, which has an OD2 for even more gobs of gain. We have an EQ section and a gain for the clean, EQ section and a gain. Also a little contour, which is the opposite of the tiny MG I've got. So that way's sort of scraggier, as I call it, and that's sort of bassier and beefier that way. I tend to leave it just under 12 o'clock, so just on the scratchy side a little bit. So the effects in this are chorus and delay, chorus and flange, and they are foot switchable. Effects level is how loud the effect is. We've got reverb, which is kind of different from my little combo. The reverb's in its separate knob, but you can't affect the reverb using the foot switch, which is a bit annoying, a bit of a shame, but I understand why they've done it like that, and you could just leave it on a tiny bit like I do, just for a little bit of room in the sound. Effects loop mix, it does have an effects loop on the back. I'm not using that, but it's nice to know it's there. I'm just going to leave that up because there's nothing in the effects loop anyway, it doesn't really matter. And finally, it has a master volume, which is a great idea because this has a volume on it, but this side doesn't. So effectively, you can just make sure that the volumes match, or maybe this is slightly louder if you're using this for your gain sound. So it gives you a number of options. So you've got a nice number of options there. One thing I forgot to mention, the Footswitch, which is frequency dependent dampening. And as soon as I discovered this little switch on my little combo, it turned into a little monster. And what this basically does is it makes it react a lot more like a valve amp as opposed to a solid state amp. So you get that valve sort of sag to the sound. So that's the spec of this new head. Let's get into some sounds. If you hear any whirring in the background, that's because of the fan of the MG. It is quite loud, but obviously when you're gigging, there's no way you'd ever hear it over the amplifier. The camera that I'm using is my 212 from Harley Benton. It's loaded with Celestion V30s, and it doesn't sound too bad. So I got this amplifier for 50 quid because the two volume knobs were very scratchy and coughing, just like they were on my custom amplifier, if you've seen that video. So basically I got it for 50 quid, I took it out of its housing, I sprayed the pops down, and now it's working great. And also, it came with a foot switch, which is great. They're like 20 quid on their own, so to have that included was just brilliant. So I'm using my Gibson Les Paul here. This is my LPJ 2013 model. It's the 498 and 490T pickups, just like the old Les Pauls like from the 70s, those customs like Steve Jones's had those pickups. Normal tuners. It's got a maple neck, mahogany body, maple cap. Apart from the maple neck, it's all Les Paul, just as you'd expect. So I'm going to do a couple of seconds without the FUD switch on because I think it sounds not as good as with, and then I'm going to turn it on and you'll go, oh yeah, no, fair enough, probably does make a bit of a difference. So here's a couple of chords. With the FUD switch. So the Footswitch kind of makes it a bit more dynamic and lively. So Footswitch we've got is 2-channel. It's for the clean channel and the overdrive channel, but remember with both channels you have to choose what mode you want it in. So the clean channel also has the crunch and the overdrive is 1 or 2, so gainy and more gainy. Personally I like it on the crunch channel, rather the crunch mode of the clean. So channel 1, but not bring, it's a bit ooh. And the other side of the Footswitch is for the effects, where you can turn the effects circuit on or off depending on which one you select, but not the reverb, that's there for life, or you just turn it off. But you can't Footswitch it, which is a shame. So I've got the delay set up for a little bit of slapback. Does the Jonesy thing, it's great. Go on the clean channel. turn the gain up if you're going to use the clean side of the crunch channel, because effectively that works as the volume knob when it's clean. So you've got to fiddle with a master afterwards to level everything out, which is quite annoying. So let's go into the overdrive now. Oh, I like that. That's good, that is. Let's go on to gain 2, so let's see what the difference is. So let's try and down tune first. A little bit of treble off. Take the gain down because it's very high gain. Back to gain 1. Turn the gain up a bit. Bit weak otherwise. Tell you what, let's see if we can. So I'm going to leave that there. I'm going to treble. I'm going to take all the mids out basically. Well, there you have it. That's a look at my new amplifier, MG from Marshall. I hope to be doing a shootout with my NG and the JCM 2000 at some point, probably quite soon, probably the next 2 or 3 weeks. Hopefully I'll get that sorted out for you, and we'll see how the solid state cheap amp compares to the big boy all valve amp. Don't forget to like, subscribe in the meantime, and I'll see you next time. So thank you very much for watching. I'll see you then. Bye. Bye.